Hey, what's up, guys? This is Joey with Grit Marketer. So I am chilling on my reading chair today. I've been up this is my third hour, and I have not moved an inch. This is what I do every Sunday. I sit down in this chair. I have my blanket. I got my iPad out. I'm working on. I got the books out. I review my whole week. I figure out what worked, what didn't work. Every aspect of my life: business, financials. Mindset, relationships, health, all that stuff. And then I just write it out and figure out what works, what doesn't work, what needs to change, and all that stuff. And so I do that every Sunday. It's called the General's Tent. I do it with an app within the Wake Up Warrior movement, and it's been very life changing at that. So think something I'm encouraging you to do is on Sundays to do that. Simply sit down, spend some time with yourself, go on a walk, and just ask yourself what worked this week. Like, what things worked? That's a great question to ask, because a lot of times we don't think about it, and then we end up going through life wondering nothing's working. But then you realize, oh wait, actually, you know what? That worked. That's awesome. And then you figure out what didn't work, like what worked against you, where'd you fall short. And then listing those out helps you really see, like, oh, this is what my stories are. This is why I'm not doing what I should be doing. And then the next section is commit to something. Like, what are you committed to do the next week? So what am I committed to do next week that's better than those things that didn't work? And what this does is it constantly raises the bar just a little bit. But over time, that bar is like really high up, and big changes happen. So those are some things to consider and to think about. Also, to note, we have massages here at the house frequently, and a massage girl brought over these cups, like little suction cups. And dude, oh my God, I have these all over my chest, going all the way down and all over my back, and they're like hurt, they sore, but this is a cool experience. Anyways, today's lesson, guys, is don't lower your prices. So I've been into price strategy for a long time. I have not written books. I have read many books about this. I've talked to coaches and mentors about this. I've played around with my own pricing strategies. And when I talk to a client, 90% of the clients that come to me say, very simply put, hey, we need to lower our prices because we need to get more sales. And that's a very common thing. Like, we got to lower prices to get more sales. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. Sometimes like doing a sale is the easiest way to get a new client. However, there's two things you can do. You can price cut, or you can add value. So price cutting is you're always in competition with the other person, the other competitors. Your price is $1,000, now it's $700, then it's $400, then theirs goes down to $300, so you go down to $200, and then you cut away your margin. Until eventually there's hardly any margin left, or no margin, and one of you go out of business, or the other. And so unless you're a huge company that has a huge budget to compensate for the price cut, it's not the best thing to do. So like a Walmart, they go into a city and they price cut, and they actually lose money in all of their stuff like crazy. Like, they lose money. They have zero margin, negative margins, until all the surrounding competitors go out of business. Then they bring their prices back up. But they can afford to do that because they're fucking Walmart. And that's that's also kind of fucked up, right? But that's what they do. I don't suggest that strategy for you or me. So the second step is like, hey, how do we create more value so that the price that you currently have, that's going to most likely be higher, seems inexpensive? So I'll give you two examples, one from both of my companies. So my Krav Maga XD company, one of the things we did in a while back, which worked really well, which we're probably going to restart again because after COVID, we had to shut down for 6 months, and we're just kind of in that restarting mode. We did this thing where people would buy. We had the highest price memberships. It was $200 a month around, and people would buy their monthly membership. And when they signed up, they get a private coach to kind of walk them through things, someone to like connect with them for 30 days, to always ask questions, see how they're doing. They got a book, they got some online training, they get all these things. So like, the coaching is $100, the books, $50, the training's $100, the class itself is this much money, then they get a t-shirt and they get some gloves. So like, the value was like, oh my God, what was it? Like $495 value. And then they were getting it for $200, and they're like, yes, yet our competitors were doing pricing at like $97 a month and they're shitty. So like you see how we decided, instead of lowering the price to beat our competitors, we just raised the fucking value and we just blew them out of the park. It was awesome. And in fact, most of our competitors have shut down because we shut them down by charging more. Like, see the flip on that? It's so much better. Okay, now for Grit Marketer. I've always wanted to have a lower cost coaching program. Lower cost, not because I want to beat competitors, but because I wanted to be more accessible to people who maybe have never done these type of programs or who can't afford them yet. But of course, it has to be priced at a point to where there's margin and there's money and profit being made. So I decided to do the Grit Marketing program at the price it's currently at. And I was like, man, how do we, because there's other programs out there that do something kind of similar. So how do I increase the value so much that people are like, holy shit, this is too good to be true, which by the way is my number one resistance is people do get on the phone with me. They're like, this just doesn't sound like it's real because it sounds like there's too much here. So I was like, okay, I want to do a coaching program, right? I'm losing connection here. So what can you do and what can you add to your current offer to not lower the price, in fact, even raise the price and give so much value to when someone sees it, they're like, wow, that's amazing. Like, yes, I want that. Like, have you ever done that before? Have you ever bought something from somebody and you're like, please give me more? Like, this is awesome. I want to give you money because I want this thing. Like, how do you do that for your offer? That's the challenge. And if you can do that, game over. Like, game fucking over. Give them more value. So how do you do that? Well, everybody's company is different. It's just that simple. We had a guy that was a flooring company. He was like, well, how do I add more value? Okay, we'll figure it out. Let's think about it. You know, they already buy the flooring. Okay, well, how about you give them free installs? Boom, there's value. You can just charge more and it's all part of the margin. How about you do quarterly cleanings? Like, as being a member of the flooring club that you just created, what if every quarter you came out with your little like polishers and you have one guy that just runs around the city, just keeps polishing people's floors? Fucking A, that's awesome. Like, I would buy a floor from a flooring company that did polishing once every quarter rather than trying to hire someone myself. So you see the difference? Like, you can add more value in different ways. So just figure out, how can they get more results? How can they get better results from you? And then build cool value things for that so your offer is better than your competitors. All right, guys, I'm out of here for the day. I'm going to finish up my journaling, and then I'm going to go to my nephew's baby shower. I'm going to be a great uncle. All right, have a great rest of your day. Bye.